Thai horror films never disappoints. Today's film, The Eye, is truly a terrifying existence. High-energy plot with explosive twists. You can never guess the truth until the end. Hurry and watch it with your friends. The little boy is born with a pair of yinyang eyes. He can see things that ordinary people cannot. He can also sense the future and predict what will happen. I saw you fall from the balcony and die. As soon as he said this, his mother was furious. But just as she was sternly scolding her son, who would have known that the next second? Just like that, the boy watched helplessly as his mother died before him. Although Jet can foresee what is about to happen, he is powerless to prevent the tragedy. Over the years, he has witnessed countless scenes of retribution. In these people, Jet can clearly see their sins, but he cannot see his own karma. Many years later, the grown-up Jet became a lawyer. He was extremely skilled at exploiting legal loopholes, which made him quite famous in the industry. That day, Jet successfully acquitted a wealthy criminal. Although he won the case, he also saw that the wrong souls had already latched onto the wealthy man. Sure enough, by nightfall, the vengeful spirits came to collect their due. While passing over a bridge, Jet saw the wealthy man wildly showing off his new girlfriend. Little did he know that a ghost was clinging to him at that moment, and it foresaw an impending car accident. A dozen cars collided in a chain reaction. The scene was horrific. Realizing the danger, he hurriedly slammed the gas pedal to drive off the bridge, but the vehicles behind him were not so lucky. The vehicle driven by the wealthy man plummeted directly from the 100-meter high bridge. This accident resulted in dozens of passengers dying on the spot. No one could have imagined that. The culprit of the car accident was the local tycoon's stepdaughter, Xiao Mei, who only sustained minor injuries. In the face of police accusations and the exorbitant compensation demanded by the victim's family, Xiao Mei, feeling helpless, had no choice but to hire Jet to help her with the lawsuit. He gently placed his hand on a photo of Xiao Mei. The next second, in his mind, the scene of the car accident appeared. At that moment, Xiao Mei's eyes were tightly covered by a ghostly hand, which led to the tragedy. It seems that the ghost truly wanted to kill Xiao Mei, but as for why it did this, Jet could never find out. To prevent the ghost from coming again to claim life, Jet immediately rushed to the hospital room where Xiao Mei was. Sure enough, he saw several ghosts standing at the foot of the bed. Jet knew they were the people who died in last night's accident, so he instructed Xiao Mei to maintain a sense of reverence. Otherwise, sooner or later, she would be haunted by spirits. To his surprise, Xiao Mei didn't believe a word of it. She firmly believed that in the technologically advanced 21st century, any talk of ghosts was pure nonsense. In desperation, Yetta had no choice but to tell her a way to see the spirits. That was to spread her legs, bend down and look straight back through her legs. You actually scared me. You also said that as long as I do this, I would be able to see them. It's best not to look around randomly. This is not a gift. It's a curse. This scene is truly spectacular. I really want to drive to the scene and take a look. Speaking of cars, I recently bought a car from Guazi Used Cars. I bought a BYD Han. I only spent a little over 90,000. That's 100,000 cheaper than a new car. It drives just like new. New cars depreciate quickly now. Guazi is particularly cost-effective. Every car at Guazi has undergone official professional inspection. You can try it for 3 days first, then buy it with confidence. If there's an old car, you can also auction sunflower seeds nationwide. In short, listen to me. Buying and selling used cars is the way to go. In the middle of the night, Xiao Mei suddenly woke up from her sleep. At this moment, Jete was standing on the balcony, motionless. To take revenge for being pranked during the day, Xiao Mei immediately stepped forward, ready to scare him badly. Unexpectedly, when he turned his head, it turned out to be a terrifying vengeful spirit. Meanwhile, more and more spirits gathered in the room. They were all innocent people who died in a car accident. Xiao Mei was so scared that she quickly called out to Jete, but no matter how loudly she cried for help, she still couldn't see Jete's figure. Just at this critical moment, the door suddenly opened by itself. Xiao Mei intended to take the opportunity to rush out, but immediately after, her body was firmly pinned down on the bed by the spirits. Jete! Save me! However, at this moment, the glass door to the balcony opened automatically, accompanied by hoarse cries. The hospital bed was slowly pushed to the edge of the balcony. It seemed that Xiao Mei was about to be thrown off a high building. Fortunately, Jet arrived just in time. This prevented the tragedy from happening. After this incident, Xiao Mei finally believed in the existence of ghosts in the world. So, in order to save her own life, she followed Jet, and found the most famous enlightened monk in the area. After the monk learned of the situation, he directly gave her a consecrated prayer bead. As long as she carried the prayer bead with her, she would be safe and sound. But is that really the case? One evening, while Xiao Mei was leisurely watching the show on the sofa, the picture on the TV suddenly switched automatically. Immediately, it surprisingly showed the newlywed couple who died in the car accident that night. Upon seeing this scene, Xiao Mei was so scared that she wanted to quickly turn off the TV. But at the crucial moment, the remote control didn't work at all. Watching the horrific car accident appear on the TV, she thought that unplugging the power would end everything. But to her surprise, the TV turned back on again, and it kept repeating the footage of the accident. Embracing each other, focusing on each other's eyes. Showing love. The two shared a sweet moment. Very good. The groom looked at the bride. I'm going to take the picture. At that moment, the couple who died tragically also came to Xiaomei's side. They even started taking wedding photos right in front of her. Seeing such a situation, Xiaomei's heart had already collapsed to the extreme. Fortunately, Jet arrived in the end. This saved her from peril. But on the other side, Jet's girlfriend, Xiaochang, wasn't so lucky. She was playing the piano when, suddenly, bloody handprints kept appearing on the keyboard. Although Xiaochang was very scared inside, but he couldn't help but look down. As a result, the next second, when Jet returned, Xiaochang was sitting at the door, already half dead. To comfort his girlfriend, Jet took her out for a cup of coffee to calm her down. But little did he know, at that moment, Jet foresaw the scene of his girlfriend drowning. To prevent the tragedy from happening, he had no choice but to take Xiaochang to the riverbank. Following the foreseen scenario, he pushed her into the water. He tried to forcefully change fate by pretending to be dead. Calm down, Xiaochang, don't be afraid. Stay calm. You've already been through the gates of hell. From now on, you have been reborn. After resolving his girlfriend's situation, Jet began to worry about Xiaomei's condition again. So he hurriedly took Xiaomei back to the temple. According to the high monk's guidance, Xiaomei needed to lie in the coffin to pray for the forgiveness of the ghost. Just after Xiaomei lay down, several ghostly hands quickly grabbed her, trying to strangle her to death. In despair, Xiaomei could only keep calling for help. I'm sorry. Let me out. I didn't mean to. Please forgive me. Surprisingly, after Xiaomei's sincere apologies, these ghosts actually all disappeared. I thought everything would return to calm, but at that moment, another ghost suddenly appeared before her. However, she did not harm Xiaomei, but instead accompanied her with a kind expression. When Jet opened the coffin, Xiaomei surprisingly showed a face full of happiness. That woman. She should be my mother. It turns out that on the day of the accident, she was using her body to protect her daughter. Everything that was previously speculated was wrong. On the other side, the police discovered another body by the river. When Jet saw the laptop at the scene, his expression instantly became serious. By reading the memory card in the camera, he discovered that his girlfriend, Xiaochang, was also at the accident scene, and that she had been killed along with that couple. As for the one he had been with during this time, it was actually the spirit of his girlfriend. Because Jet himself had the ability to see spirits, he had carelessly failed to notice the abnormality. On the way home, Jet was heartbroken. Unexpectedly, a ghost suddenly appeared, urging him to hurry and save Xiaomei. But when he rushed to Xiaomei's house, he found the hallway covered in wet footprints. Following the direction of the footprints, Jet made his way to the rooftop, and found Xiaomei at that moment, standing on the edge, lost in thought. She questioned Jet, asking who he loved more, her or his girlfriend. Given the current situation, Jet hurriedly said that his favorite is Xiaomei. But as soon as he said this, Xiaomei became furious. It turned out that his girlfriend, Chang, had possessed her. Chang. What do you want to do? I want to take revenge on the mistress who broke us apart. As soon as the words were spoken, she controlled Xiaomei and jumped down. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Jet rushed forward and caught her. Unexpectedly, at the moment they made contact, the past memories flooded back into his mind. It turned out that Jet was a complete scumbag. Years ago, Jet's girlfriend accidentally got pregnant, and she was Xiaomei's mother. But unexpectedly, when Jet learned she was pregnant, he actually demanded that she abort the child. And that wasn't the end of it. During this time, Jet also got involved with his girlfriend's best friend, who is now his girlfriend, Chang. Xiaomei's mother wanted to give birth to the child on her own. Unexpectedly, she died on the operating table due to complications during childbirth. Fortunately, Xiaomei was adopted by the local tycoon. This is how she grew up. Regarding her best friend's betrayal for love, along with the ruthless betrayal by a scumbag, it caused Xiaomei's mother to turn into a vengeful spirit seeking revenge after her death. This led to a car accident that killed her best friend, completing her revenge. The reason she covered Xiaomei's eyes was that she couldn't bear to let her see this bloody scene. When Jet learned that Xiaomei was his biological daughter, a deep sense of guilt immediately surged within him, so he desperately pulled Xiaomei up, while he himself fell from a 100-meter high building. At the end of the film, Jet did not die. Instead, he was left paralyzed for life in bed. Perhaps the current outcome is the best punishment for him. As the saying goes, good and evil will eventually be rewarded. The way of heaven has a good cycle. To be born as a human, one should uphold good intentions.